Melodie is the founder of Newmanity by Melodie, a project centered on yoga, tolerance, and emotional intelligence. In her work, Melodie deconstructs stereotypes toward older women at a young age by reinventing education with a message of peace and hope to the world. Welcome, Melodie. It's so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the last panelist. Also, it was really inspiring to listen to you all. And it's a perfect transition with what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to talk about. So first of all, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to speak in front of you today. Thank you to Kate, to Alex and Emily and all the team of Envisâge for this opportunity to speak. So me, I'm doing yoga and meditation every day is good for my mental health. These words are not from me. They are from a 9-year-old kid while I was volunteering in a school in India 3 years ago. I was really surprised when these kids told me that. I was even like shocked and I got like tears in my eyes when he shared that to me. I realized in this place that those kids there were learning from the really young age how to take care of themselves, how to take care of their body, how to take care of their mental health, how to take care of each other and living as a family in this school. And during all this journey that I went through, during all the different schools, places and places where I meet kids, I really realized that this day, when he shared those words with me, I knew what I wanted to share with the world. And every day in this school, they were practicing yoga, meditation, they were singing mantras, and they were like sharing, respecting each other. And I was like, why we don't have in the Western world kids at 9 years old saying like, I need to take care of my mental health and to take care of my emotions, to take care of my body and all of that. So I knew deeply within myself that I wanted to teach when I went back home. So I'm from France, to say where am I? I'm in Nice, in the south of France right now, and have been traveling for 3 years, meeting so many people from so many backgrounds, from so many religion, from so many places, race, age. And what I wanted to bring it back to my country is the message that we are one family. And there is no difference between you and me, between us, between the religion, between the age, between the race, between the nationalities and all of that. So that's the reason why I decided to create my own project when I went back home. And I decided to take care of kids and women, but mostly kids, and to teach them how to take care of themselves in order to take care of others. So I'm using yoga, meditation, emotional intelligence, and also philosophy workshop. So I've been like studying philosophy for kids after I went back home in order to be able to organize workshops where all the kids can come together and speak together and share their opinion about the topic and also think by themselves, getting confidence, listen to others, and also discuss about different topics. And mostly these topics are about happiness, are about inclusivity, are about gender equality, are about respect, cooperation, humanity in general. And those kind of workshops are a place where they can, offer who they are, discuss about whatever they need to discuss about, and also respect others. I mean that in this space, they have to share with their own truth and also respect the truth of others. It means that it brings more inclusivity also in these topics. And learning those skills at a really young age are going to help also to fight later against racism, against violence, against non-respect comportments and all of that. So I'm doing that with kids, and also, and I really like they just shared before about the importance of taking care of the body. And I think that taking care of the body and also the emotion and all of that, it's like, for me, it's a package, and especially in this time, because right now we know that health is really important, and health, like mental health also, and emotional health, even if it's still kind of taboo in our society to talk like freely about it. But what a different world it will make if every kids and every person in the society will be able to express what they truly feel, what they truly want, what like can express also who they truly are, like being fully confident in their body, in their life, in the people around them, can completely change the society. Like, it's what I truly believe, I mean. And so that's why I'm doing also like workshops around emotion and about expressing, about respecting emotion about other people. They were sharing before, like sometimes some people don't realize what women and older women are feelings or are experiencing. This kind of workshop can really help them to, you know, trying to understand what others are feelings, also express their own feelings and discuss about it and respect it. And I think that in the society we are living in right now, that we are like kind of having more and more violence, more and more like people are splitting, and it's really important to help the kids to reconnect to each other and not separating each other, not separating men and women, not separating like from one religion to another, like all of that. And this is truly my message from the really beginning of my trip. I realized that no matter where I'm from, what religion I'm from, what is my name, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because at some point we are from the same family. We are from the same group of people. We are all from humanity, and we all have emotion. We are all vulnerable, and it's also our vulnerability that are connecting, what are helping us to connect to each other. And this is what I'm trying to do every day. So I'm working also with schools. So we have projects that we are working with the teacher about emotion, about inclusivity, about cooperation, and also about taking care of the body. And after listening to all the women what they were sharing, I wanted to share with you something. I'm teaching also consent to kids, which is for me really important. It's mean like your body is your body, and when we are kids, I don't really think that most of us realize this, but we have the right on our body, which is really, really important, especially for women, but not only for women. And what I'm trying to do is, we have during the workshop sometimes massage and this kind of thing, like auto massage, and also massage like by pair of kids. And before we are starting the process and before we are starting the exercise, we ask if the kids are okay to receive a massage. And this is the first things I'm learning, like I'm teaching them. is consent. It's mean like, even though when we have philosophy workshop, when we have any workshop that we have, they have the right to say no. They have the right to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. And it's really important for me to introduce this notion to them as young as they are. Like, I'm working with 3-year-old kids, with 6 years old, from like 3 to 6. And it's really important for me to share this with them, because by introducing them as young as they are, they're gonna realize that they have the right on their body, and also they need to respect the body of others, which is like the most important. And we know that in the world right now, like, we have more and more, like, we heard a lot about, you know, sexual harassment and issue about consentment and all of that. So, which is really, really important for me to share that with them. So on the side of that, I'm not working only on those topics, but I'm also working on the topic of confidence, self-worth, self-love, and all of those topics, both on women and on kids. So I choose this way because I think during my journey I realized that some of those things I never really received it when I was young, or when I was older, when I was a teenager, or even in my woman's life right now. And I really wanted to share it and to help people to go on that way, on that journey to be more in love with ourselves, in love with our body, and in love with our mind, and also be clear about our emotion and embracing what's going on within ourselves. And so it's what I'm doing also right now. I'm running retreats for women and workshop for women to help them to welcome whatever they have inside, and knowing that there is a place also. And this is like, so I'm so blessed to be able to create those kind of place and space. Like, for kids and women, they know that in this space that we are creating, because I'm not the only one, because in France we have a whole organization who are doing philosophy workshop for kids and doing it like on an everyday basis in schools, in also outdoor school and all of that. And they know that in this space they can be who they are. They are not going to be judged. They're just going to be welcome exactly the way they are, and that's it. They're not going to be like, we're not going to love each other. And just before we are starting, we put the rules on. It's mean like, in this place you can love, but you don't love each other. You can just share whatever you want, but you need to explain why you are thinking that. And if you are hurting someone, you need to explain why you are thinking like this, and what is going on within yourself, what is going on, what you are feeling, and what you want to share. And yeah, so I'm really grateful to be able to hold those space for women and kids, because I know how precious it is to be just welcome exactly the way you are, be loved and accepted exactly the way you are. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you today. So it's a whole journey that makes me doing this right now. So I hope that I really have a big hope for the next generation, like you were sharing just before. I can see like having more consciousness, having more like compassion, and kids born nice. They don't born like bad or hurting each other and all of that. They are free, they are joyful, they are like, and they need to keep it on. and we need to help them to going on with that, with inclusivity, with humanity, with cooperation. That's how we make the world different for everybody, and especially women also, like by educating from the really young age, both boy and girl, we are changing the world for the future. So thank you for listening to me. I know that there is maybe some Q&A session, so I'm happy to answer to all your questions and to share more about my journey, about what I'm doing, and about my vision also on education or anything.
Thank you so much for this lovely conversation. I can't help but emphasize the fact that consent is so important, and it's so undervalued, or it has been undervalued, and right now it's coming up in our conversation, and bringing it up so early for children is so important in my opinion. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna explain to you how I'm doing it because it's funny.
Okay, then go ahead.
Like, usually, like, they are like by two, so 2 kids together. So I say, okay, what are we doing before we are doing the massage? So I say, okay, now the person who is on the back is going to lift the arm up, and first you're gonna ask your friend if he wants to receive a massage, and after, when he say yes, you start doing it. And so because you make it like, you know, like a little bit funny, it's making like even like a ritual. And now they know that before we're doing it, first we raise our arms up, and after we start doing it.
That's yeah, that's, I think I've also worked in summer camps with kids, and as long as you can make something a game, they understand it really quickly. So
yeah, it's really important.
Is there any questions from our audience, from everybody behind their Zoom screens? Does anybody want to comment anything? So Meredith, you raise your hand, please go ahead. Oh, your mic is...
your mic is off.
I'll do that, thanks. Melodie, you have such a lovely way of presenting yourself as a person. It doesn't surprise me that you spend your time with yoga and meditation. You present as very thoughtful. I think the children are extremely, extremely lucky to have you doing this with them at this point in their lives. I can't imagine now at this time in my life that I would have possibly learned something like that. Having gone through, you know, adolescence and all, there was consent. What? I mean, consent for the last, I don't know how many years. And it's only because I have children in their 20s that I've been learning about consent, which is so exciting, that, you know, holding that kind of power, because we just didn't, you mean we can actually say no? I mean, not that I never said no, but on a serious note, this is a wonderful introduction to you. And I'd love to know a little more, hope others do, about how you got to wanting to do this.
That's a good question. Have been working on setting boundaries for a while, about first about myself, and also about experience that I experienced in my life that I couldn't say no. And you know what, I'm gonna share what's happened. I've never shared that in any conference that I experienced, but anyway, so it's like, it was few years back, and I had a sexual abuse, and so the deep reason within myself is this one, and I never share this in front of anybody. So it's really, it makes me a little bit vulnerable, but at the same time, I know how much vulnerability is a gift for other people. So it doesn't really matter. So for me, this experience and how much, like, it's a part of my journey. Like, it means like this event that happened to me is a starting point of starting taking care of myself, starting yoga, meditation, and all of that things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the beginning of my journey. So at the same time, it's an horrible things, but it's such a gift for what I'm doing right now and what I'm offering to women and what I'm offering to kids. And that's why for me, it's so important that they are learning this from the really young age. And the school where I'm working in is a school from, like, it's a suburb in my city, which is like not really rich place. So, and also there is a lot of violence, and the condition of the women in this place are not really good, to be really honest. So that's why for me it's even more important to start from those kind of place in order to fight against this kind of comportment that can happen later. So the deep reason within myself is this, and it's because for me it was really hard for me to be able to set my boundaries. And right now I really hope that every woman and every kids can be able to set their boundaries and to realize that their body is their own property. Mm-hmm. And they cannot, like, they don't have to allow anyone to touch it, even if it's someone from the family.
Thank
you. I think I speak for everyone when they say we're so grateful that you shared your experience with us. And I think it's so important what you're saying, and it's so important to teach the idea of setting boundaries and learning consent before, and taking care of our bodies and our minds and ourselves before we have to go through all of this negative experiences. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I think Alex maybe had a question.
Yes. Hello, Emily. Hello, Mélodie. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Meredith, for your question. And actually, I wanted to share with the group and everyone that is with us tonight, first, that it's not my first time hearing about Mélodie. Actually, I heard about Mélodie in a peace panel in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia in February, just before the start of the pandemic. And I was there in person listening to Mélodie. And Mélodie, you were sharing about deconstructing, right? Stereotypes in face of the other, but also breaking barriers, right? Between everyone. And your speech was really powerful. I really hope that somehow maybe people can follow you on social media and go listen to this call for peace, because it was really inspiring for me. And thank you again for sharing with us. Mélodie, I would like to ask you maybe a question. I'm thinking about maybe my past experience in the courtyard as a kid. And I remember still as of today hearing comments, that was really distressful from kids sometimes, against the queer community, against women, against older people. And it's things that sometimes kids repeat without really understanding, right, what it means and the pain that it can create. So as someone that is maybe less trained, or maybe just less good with younger generations, what can I say when I hear something like this?
Okay, that's a good question. I usually I have a typical example. For example, it's not about the topic you are talking about, but it's more about a religion or this kind of thing. I have a tattoo on my arm, and one day was saying, like, this is haram, you cannot have tattoo, because of the Muslim beliefs and all of that. So I was asking her, like, why are you saying this? And who is from? Like, because most of the time they are repeating from someone else. And what we are doing when we are doing like philosophy workshop, like we are discussing and all of that. And we try to ask, like, first we ask also, like, why are you saying this? Like, who say this? And do you think it's true? Without judgment first, because if they think that what they are sharing is not true or they cannot say it, they're gonna stop talking. So the first step is asking, like, why they are saying this, but without, you know, without saying like why you are saying this, you know. And the next step is maybe like asking them if they are sure about what they are saying, and also like you are not saying anything yourself. You are asking the group if they agree with what he said, and they're gonna discuss with each other. And maybe one in the group are gonna say, no, you cannot say this. Like, for example, in the classroom of my mom, once kids was saying like, women are not going to hairdresser because, you know, they wear hijab, and kids, they were thinking there is no hairdresser for women because it's inside of the house. And so she asked all the kids, like, do you think I'm not going to the hairdresser? Do you think like, and they're gonna discuss with each other, and knowing like, okay, no, maybe this kid doesn't really agree with what you are saying, and this kind of thing. And it's a way they start the discussion and discussing with each other. But when they are saying something like, for example, really racist or sexist or anything like this, you can also say, no, you cannot say this. Or you are saying your motivation behind this. That's how we do it when we are doing philosophy workshop. It means like they can say everything they want, except I want to kill you or something like this. But they can say everything, and after we are discussing about it. Sometimes it can be really challenging for us to not, you know, giving your opinion in the middle of the conversation. This is not our job. It's to make them think, to make them realize, and to make them think about what they truly means, but what they are saying. So I hope you answer to your question.
Yes, thank you so much. It's really powerful to see that in the middle of these discussions, right? It's the kid itself, right? It's not you trying to speak for the kid.
Yeah.
Really powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's really important. It's like they need to realize, and I wrote it when I wrote my speech, they need to realize that everyone is important in the group, that everyone is special, and they all have the right to speak, the right to express, the right to... And this is one of the really important things that we are respecting in this process.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Melodie.
Thank you.
And obviously I don't think we have talked about this so much so far in the conference, but this is another type of ageism. It's the bias against children, not taking children seriously because they are just children, but they are human beings as well.
I agree totally. It's like, you know, like how you can ask the kids to respect older people if you are not respecting them as a kid. You know, it's like they do the reverse, they receive. It's respect for, like someone just writes respect for all. Yeah, it's like if we are educating kids with respect, they're gonna respect you as an adult and as older people later.
Definitely. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Melodie.
You're welcome. I was really happy to share all of that with you.